Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phil Switch Podcast. My name is Phil Carew, and I am joined by my fearless co-host, Brock Tamarino. The Phil Switch Podcast is brought to you by Sal's Tire Caps. Sal's Tire Caps. Don't pimp them out. It just makes you look ridiculous. So, Brock, right off the top of my head here today, I saw video footage of the LA flash mob incident at the 7-Eleven. I believe it happened last Monday, which I'm getting something from our producer. Yes, last Monday, I believe on August 15th. I thought flash mobs just used to be people doing like weird things, like a group of people would get together like in a shopping mall or a park or a parking lot. And then they would just start doing like a weird dance. Maybe somebody would have like music playing or something. I did not realize that it had turned into a bunch of criminals getting together and just robbing places. I didn't realize it had turned to that. I myself, Brock, have never been a part of any type of flash mob or whatever they are now. But they always seemed harmless, humorous, something like that. So have you ever been part of a flash mob, Brock?
No. I've got to be honest with you. I've got better things to do. So,
Yeah. So what do you think, Brock, if you were, excuse me, if you were in that 7-Eleven, I don't know if you've seen the footage. Have you seen it?
yeah, I saw bits and pieces on, I don't know, Facebook or something. But yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
If that would have been, if you were the person working the store there, Brock, and all these people came in and started stealing stuff, I think some guy threw like stuff at the store clerk. What would you have done in that situation, Brock? I think I would have probably tried to call the police and get out of there. I don't know if there was a way for that employee to exit, but I would have probably tried to call the police and get out of there.
What would I have done if I was working and all these people rushed in and they were being aggressive and stealing things and throwing things at me? Yeah, I would have shot them.
What's that?
Yeah, I would have shot them. Especially if I was a store owner. If I owned that store and somebody came in and started stealing stuff, tearing up my store and trying to hurt me, I just would have shot them.
Wow. I'll be honest, Brock. I didn't expect that answer from you. But there were so many people, Brock. There were so many people in there that, I mean, even if you did shoot them, obviously you have all these other people to deal with, right?
Yeah, no, it kind of goes back to the old school thing, yeah, maybe I'm outnumbered, but who wants to be the guy that gets shot? Who wants to be, like if I have, say I've got X amount of rounds in my firearm and I make a comment like, I'm going to start shooting. You guys might overwhelm me eventually. This is coming up from some old cowboy movie I remember seeing, but it's true. You guys might overwhelm me eventually, but, some of you are getting shot. So I guess that's that. So you can either get out of my store or you can roll the dice, but some of you are getting shot.
Yeah, I guess I can understand what you're saying. I guess I can kind of understand what you're saying. I mean, if somebody comes in and starts destroying your stuff and stealing your things and harming you, I guess there's a risk to that too, right? So anyway, I was thinking of that, Brock. I was thinking of this. I was thinking of this situation that happened in LA last Monday, and I thought it might be interesting to see if any of our listeners have ever been part of a flash mob. Hopefully not one like happened in LA, but part of a, like the old school flash mob where they were actually kind of humorous and funny, something people could laugh at or, at the most be annoyed by. So with that, would you like to, if you're a listener out there, would you like to call in and let us know if you've been part of a flash mob?
Yeah, and We're talking like Phil said, we're talking, the old school flash mobs, not what seems to have become the dirty butthole of society flash mobs. So, have you been in a nice, peaceful, humorous flash mob? Let us know.
Man, Brock, you're I feel like you're in a mood, Brock. I really feel like you're in a mood. But anyway, we have callers calling in. So we are going to take our first caller. First caller up is Blake. Blake, have you ever been part of a flash mob? And what was it like? What did you guys do?
Oh yeah, man. So like when I was in college, I was in a couple flash mobs actually. They were a lot of fun. The one I remember the most is me and some of the brothers from my fraternity house, right? We got together with some of the sorority sisters of our like sister house, and we went down to the quad. And so like we all get set up, right? We're all set up, and my friend Jimmy, we're like, Jimmy, hit it. And he had like this boombox, right? And so Jimmy hits the boombox, right? And we had a couple speakers set up and stuff. It's pretty cool. And we had a couple speakers set up, right? And so Jimmy hits it. You guys wouldn't guess what song started playing. I'll tell you, the Macarena. And we all just start doing the Macarena dance. And hey man, I kid you guys not, man. We brought probably, I don't know, there had to be 20, maybe 20 of us down there doing it. Dude, by the time we got to the end of the song, everybody in the quad was doing the Macarena with us. And they were laughing. We even saw one of our professors, which was kind of weird, but she like jumped in and started doing the Macarena. I think she was doing yoga down there before, but she jumped in, started doing the Macarena. It went like, so like some kids got it on like their phone, and it got to like everybody on campus. Everybody on campus is like watching it. It's so cool.
Yeah, see, that's like a fun one. That's like a fun one that you do. Like you get out there and you play music and you start dancing. So what did you do? You said you did a lot. So what were some other ones you did?
Well, so like me and my fraternity brothers and the sorority girls from our like sister house, we went down to the quad again, like another time. And this was before the Macarena one, because we weren't sure like the Macarena one was going to work, because we went down to the quad before and we did like I can't even remember the song. It was like a Elton John song, but it was like one of his slow ones. And so we went down there and we started doing like this dance, and I think it just weirded people out, because like there were a lot of people down at the quad, like probably, oh man, I don't even know. Like it was nice outside. I remember that. It was a nice spring day, and we went down there, and there had to be, I would say probably 10, 15 people down there, right? And we go down there and we start doing that Elton John song. That did not go over, dude. Like that didn't go over well at all. Like people got up and left. There was one person, I remember like I'll just full disclosure, like they were saying bad words and they like flipped us off, but it wasn't just one finger. It was like both fingers. And then they made some comment about one of our moms. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, your mama, and they said something, and then like the double hammers came out, you know? But yeah, the Macarena one was by far the funnest one. Most of them, to be honest with you, most of them had to do with us going down to the quad and playing music and like doing a dance. That's like what most of them consisted of. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. The same thing you and Phil are talking about. You play some music, you do like some kind of quirky, funny thing, and you go home. So, Blake, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And it looks like we have another caller coming in right now. Pierre, you are on the Phil Switch podcast. Have you been part of a flash mob, and what did you guys do?
Oh yes, okay, so I have been part of a flash mob before. Laisse-moi toi, boletoi, je viens, mais quoi te les bichons, v'là soin de blé, aussi blé, blé blue, les michons toi, flé blue, hold on.
I'm sorry, Pierre. I don't know this for sure, but I think most of our audience is English speaking. I did hear you start in English. And to be honest with you, Brock and I don't speak French at all. Is there any way you could start from the top in English?
Oh, oui. Yeah, no problems there. I will start from the top. From what I was saying, yes, I was part of a flash mob. Semble que je lève l'onte semble trois flash mob. And do you guys want me to translate in French after I say a phrase?
I don't think you have to. If you just want to say it in English, maybe there'll be captions or something like that. Or maybe if we get feedback from our French-speaking listeners, if they want something in French, we can figure out a way to accommodate that. But right now, maybe just English, just to kind of keep things rolling.
Oh, yes, no problem, Mr. Brock. So, yes, I was part of a flash mob. And what happened is we got together, right? We got together in the area. We got together at a park, right? And we are at the park. And what happened is the first flash mob I was part of, we are a little bit artistic and we are a little bit creative. We try to think outside the box. We try to do a little vaudeville, so to speak. So what we do is we take paint and we throw it on our bodies, and then we dance around erratically. So we have the people, they are dancing over by the merry-go-round. We have people that are dancing over by the, teeter-totters. We have people dancing over by the slice. And we are covered in paint. We are looking like a painting from Pollock. And we are dancing erratically around the park. And the people, they are watching us, not knowing what is happening. And we do this for about an hour and a half. After hour and a half, we are dancing around with paint on our bodies. The paint starts to dry, and we leave.
Cool. So was there music? Was there a music component to that, or?
Yes, we were actually playing Highway to the Danger Zone from the Top Gun.
Oh, okay, cool. So it was like a Top Gun theme type of thing. Like you guys like maybe the erratic movements. Were you guys like jets or anything like that?
Oh no! It was completely random, erratic, and this song was actually just the next song that was playing on the radio.
You said it lasted for about an hour and a half. Did Top Gun play the whole hour and a half, or?
Oh, no. Sorry for the misunderstanding. That was just the first song. Most of the time it was, the radio commercials.
So you guys you had paint all over your body and you were dancing around erratically in a park, starting with Highway to the Danger Zone from the Top Gun movie. But for the most part, there wasn't music. It was just radio advertisements.
Yes, that is correct, Brock.
Okay. All right, cool. Did people seem pretty entertained by that? Did people seem to be into it?
Actually, the longer we stay, the more people come around the park, just looking at us. I saw a couple people pointing. A group of children were over in the corner. They were just pointing and laughing. So I think people thought it was very humorous. People got quite a bit out of it. And we are planning to do one. It is going to be a surprise in a couple weeks.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll keep that under wraps. We're not going to ask you any other questions about that because we don't want to give away the surprise, especially for people at the location you might be going to. So we'll just keep that under wraps for you. Pierre, thank you for coming on to the Phil Switch, and maybe you can come back on sometime and let us know how your next flash mob. I'm trying to scoop my chair up. How your next flash mob goes after the fact. So, okay, Pierre. Next on the line, our producer is showing on the screen that we have Wolf. Wolf, you are on the line with the Phil Switch podcast. We are talking about flash mobs today. Have you been part of a flash mob? What did you guys do? Wolf.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. When I was talking to your producer, I accidentally gave him my team name. What they call me on my team, my tactical team, is Wolf. My real name is Tim. People call me Tactical Tim, and I've been part of. I don't want to say, hundreds or thousands, but I've been part of several flashbang missions or operations. To the layman, those are the same things. Been part of several flashbang operations. One flashbang operation that me and my team were a part of, planning, routing. Hold on, Tim. We were actually talking about flash.
No. You know what, Brock? I'm kind of curious to see where this is going.
Are you guys good? Is everything? We're good here.
Yeah. No. Go on ahead, Tim. Go on ahead and tell us about your flashbang operations.
All right. So, oh man, when was this? This is back in, gosh, it's got to be like back in March last year, I want to say. I could be off by a couple days, but anyway, so the flashbang operation I can share with you guys, that I'm able to share with you guys today is, so we had been researching, doing some reconnaissance and, acquiring information, about this particular target. And I just remember I was put in the position of leading the team, right? And what you always want to do, what you want to make sure to tell your guys is, as you're going down range, anything down range, you make sure you want to scan it. So we're talking about how are we going to do this? And of course, everybody looks at me like, they're like TT. Sometimes they'll call me TT for Tactical Tim. And they're like, how are we going to approach the target? And I say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to have to come up the southwest corner. Okay. Now, if we're coming up the southwest corner, we could hit into some issues that'll slow down the mission or the operation. Like I said, for the layman, same thing. So I'm not going to worry about, if I say mission or operation, everybody just know that's the same thing. For some of my tactical guys that might be listening, we know the difference between a mission and an operation. But for the layman, if you say mission or operation, I mean, it's not a problem. That's all right. So we're coming up from the southwest corner, right? Now, I know in order to properly acquire the target, we've been doing a lot of research, and we know that the target spends most of his time on the northeast side of the residence, and there's a back porch there, and he spends most of his time there when he's at the residence. So as we're coming around, I'm telling my guys we're coming up from the southwest. We're gonna have to go around the northwest. There's guys coming in from the from the southeast quadrant, from the northeast quadrant, and we're establishing a very solid perimeter. Okay, so we're establishing this perimeter. We're coming around. We're seeing the guy. I've got everything down sight. I'm making sure everything's down sight. Even speaking of down sight, just real quick, what your listeners might want to know is I think of everything very tactically. That's why they call me Tactical Tim. And when I'm acquiring things, even down sight, even if I'm like, sometimes I'll go and type at the library, right? I'll be typing up a draft or something like that for a mission, just to clear my head. The library's always been very clearing in my head. And even when I'm typing, I'll kind of look over the keyboard to make sure that nobody's going to get hit by the crossfire. And I'm not trying to come off as like some tree hugger or anything like that. But even when you type, you can send out aggressive vibes. And I don't want anybody to get hit by the crossfire, the aggression, while I'm typing. So I'll even check. I've even had to tell a couple people, I've had to check a couple people like, hey, watch out for the crossfire. And they kind of look at me and I'm like, I got to remember sometimes, I got to remind myself, Tim, you're not in that environment. I mean, I'm always in the zone, but I'm not always in the environment, And so I just, sometimes if people look at me when I say, check yourself, you're in the crossfire, I'll just kind of let it go. Like, well, I guess if they get hit, they get hit while I'm typing here. But anyway, so we've got a perimeter established, and I've acquired the target, and I see him coming out. But I tell my guys, I say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wait for him to go back in, because we had a couple other suspicious vehicles out front, and we had been able to acquire information about who they were. Oddly enough, they were also targets we were going to try to get. So this is why I brought this operation up, because my heart started racing. It's like, we're going to get, how many birds with this one stone, so to speak. And So I'm seeing the target go back in. I'm saying, guys, we're going to hold out. He's got two other targets in there. We're going to see what happens. We're going to go in, bring me a flashbang. So I'm going to be the first guy in. I've got a flashbang ready. The guy goes, the target goes back into the residence. Once he goes back into the residence, I have the, oh man, I'm not going to remember exactly. No. I had the Southeast team come up, and then my team comes up. The other guys were going to hold perimeter. The other two teams were going to hold perimeter. So we come up, and my breaching guy breaches the door. I throw the flashbang. Everything goes crazy. We're in and out. 5 minutes. We've got guys cuffed and stuffed, and we got them heading down to county. So that was one flashbang experience I had. And I'm telling you, my heart was thumping. We had things going. I jumped back in my car, just sit here, took it all in. The whole time, of course, while I'm in my car, I'm scanning, making sure everything's, legit. And sorry, I wanted to throw out some youthful language there. I don't know how young your audience is. So I'm just scanning. And then I went home, had a very good dinner, slept very well that night. And that was my flashbang experience.
That is awesome. Tim, that is exactly what I expected. And I'm so happy that you came on. I'm so happy you came on the show, Tim. Tim, would you be willing to come back on the show at some point to talk about more of these experiences or just tactics in general, for our listeners to take in and really be able to digest from a tactical expert like yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Anything I could do to help, any type of tips I can give your listeners, to stay safe out there. And, it's kind of become a motto of mine, but, anything I can do to keep people safe and remind them to stay tactical and stay practical. All right.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, Tim, we will, our producer will get your information, and we're going to have you back on for sure, Tim.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You guys stay tactical, stay practical.
All right, cool. So our next guest we have coming up is Gil. We've definitely heard from Gil before. Gil, we are talking about flash mobs. Have you ever been part of a flash mob? What did you guys do, and how did it go?
Okay, guys, so yes, I have been part of a flash mob, okay? It was probably one of the most spiritual, enlightening things I've ever been a part of. And I did hear at the beginning of the show, our flash mob was completely peaceful, okay, for one. So this is kind of silly, but it's very funny. A group of mine decided that we were going to go down to the beach, and it was a beautiful day. It should have been a day we went swimming, but instead one of us had the idea, and I don't want to take credit for it, but it might have been Gil. It might have been me. One of us had the idea that instead of going swimming, we were going to go do a flash mob down at the beach. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful. And so we developed a plan. I developed a plan. And we get to the beach, and we're all ready, and we're carrying a lot of equipment, which I'll get to in a second. But we're carrying a lot of equipment. And once we get to the beach, we all set down our equipment. And before you know it, guys, listen, we are throwing vases. We're doing pottery. That's our flash mob. We went down to the beach and we started doing pottery. We're throwing vases of all shapes, all styles. And I'll tell you what's funny is we started down at the beach and people seemed to love it so much. People were just laughing, carrying on. Some people were swimming like they didn't know we were there, trying to pretend they were ignoring us, but I know they saw us. And after we spent some time down at the beach, we had some extra clay left over. Okay. We had clay and time left over. So once again, I come up with this fabulous idea that, now listen, guys,
I come up with this fabulous idea that we are going to go down to the local Toys R Us. And it's sad that Toys R Us is now closed. I don't think we had anything to do with that. But we're going to go down to the local Toys R Us and we're going to do the same thing. So we all take an aisle. Well, there weren't that many of us, but we all picked a different aisle is what I meant. We didn't take like every aisle in Toys R Us. There wasn't that many of us, not that many of us crazy guys. And so we all pick an aisle and we just start throwing vases again. I remember everybody else was throwing a vase, but Bill was throwing a bowl. Bill, you can never predict what kind of silliness Bill's going to get into, but we're all done and we've all got these vases. I had two. I did one at the beach and then one at the Toys R Us. Most of us had two. Bill, unbeknownst to us, Bill at the beach had thrown a plate. Very nice plate. He even did like some intricate work on it. Very nice design. And then he had thrown a bowl at the Toys R Us. And we're like, Bill, if anybody was gonna go against the grain, if anybody was gonna flip the script, it was gonna be Bill. So we're all sitting here with our vases, and Bill's holding this plate and this bowl. And it was just such a spiritual experience. In fact, it was so spiritual and emotional for me. When I got to my car, I'm looking at my vases, and Bill actually gave me his plate because I thought it was so beautiful. Bill gave me his plate, and I'm looking at them, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of joy, and my eyes started watering, and I turned on the radio, and it was one of those songs from Dirty Dancing, and I don't want to say I started bawling. Okay, I didn't start bawling, but I got emotional. I wept a little bit, if I can say that. I did weep. And to this day, I still have both those vases. I still have Bill's plate. And every time I think of those, I just start laughing to myself. I look at my vases and I think I look at my vases and I think you did a pretty good job. I look at Bill's plate and I think, Bill, you're a character. Bill's such a character. And it's just, he's just a joy to have around, a joy to be around. His plate is beautiful. And so that was my experience with the flash mobs. And that's exactly what I had hoped would become of the flash mob. Now, the beach, the time we spent on the beach, I was actually, the Toys R Us thing was completely impromptu, 100% impromptu. I knew we were going to go down to that beach that day because it was such a beautiful day. But I never thought we would end up in Toys R Us. And I myself, I don't even know what aisle I was in, if I'm being honest. It had to be, I'm guessing it either had to be the G.I. Joe aisle or, oh shoot, what is that? I don't know. It probably was the G.I. Joe aisle. But anyway, guys, thank you for having me on. Always such a pleasure coming on. And I wish you guys the best. And I look forward to talking to you next time. So you guys just have a great day.
All right, thank you very much, Gil. Always enjoy having Gil on. Always a pleasure. Gil has some of the greatest stories, and so it's always nice to have Gil on here, and just to hear what story Gil's going to share. So we do have one more caller, Rakesh. I think we've had Rakesh on before. Rakesh, what flash mob were you part of, and how did it go? What did you guys do? Rakesh, you are on.
Okay, so I will tell you right now, I have never been part of a flash mob, okay? But I am calling in because I have witnessed several flash mobs. But the one that I remember the most, it was so hilarious to me, was that I am standing in this place and I forget what I was. I want to say I was in one of those or what you call them, like downtown where there is like openings. Like, downtown Chicago where there are sidewalk, but then there is also just like an opening where people can just hang out. So if you can get that in your mind, it is an area like that, like an open area downtown. Okay. And I remember I was on a bench that they had there. I'm reading a book, and all of this sudden out of nowhere, This guy comes in and he does like a somersault and a backflip, and he puts a boombox down right in the middle of the square. That's what I'm thinking of, like a square downtown. There we go. Like a square. He puts it right in the middle of the square. Obviously he must have hit the play button. And when he hits the play button, it starts playing. Do you guys know that song that was in a movie? It's called The Electric Boogaloo. Are you familiar? I am. I remember seeing, I can't remember if I watched the whole movie, but I remember seeing it was on like, I don't know, like Showtime or HBO or something like that. Yeah, I remember that. So he starts playing Electric Boogaloo, and I had just seen that movie. I had just seen it the day before. So he starts to play it, and I immediately start to laugh because it is just like not laughing because I'm laughing at him. I'm laughing because, I just listened to this movie. It is so crazy. So he starts playing that, and before I know it, this huge crowd just comes. Literally, they came from every angle, every side. And they just start dancing in the square, and as soon as the song is over, they all just walk away like nothing ever happened. And that might not be an interesting story, but it was so funny to me that I'm sitting here reading a book, and then Electric Boogaloo starts out of nowhere. After this guy does a somersault and like a backflip into the middle of the square, drops a beatbox, boom, Electric Boogaloo, and it just starts, and I am so laughing so hard. And even thinking about it makes me want to laugh.
Yeah, now see, that's funny. That's humorous. I wish I would have been there with you, Rakesh. I actually remember that movie too. I don't know. They had like a sequel too, I want to say.
Oh yes, no, they had a sequel. I've seen the first one and the sequel. They do have a sequel.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I to be honest, I know they had a sequel. I don't remember if I saw the first one or part of the second one. But yeah, I know that song you're talking about. So, Rakesh, thank you for coming on the Phil Switch, and thank you for sharing your story with us. That's very cool. So, yeah, see, that's how you do a flash mob. That's how you do a flash mob. It's fun. It's
Tactical and practical, right? That's how you do a flash mob. They got to be tactical and practical. We're going to have Tim back on. Tactical Tim is coming back on. All right, Brock, do you have anything else to say?
Nah, I'm good. We heard some good stories, and yeah, I'm all good.
All right, cool, guys. Well, guys, as always, thanks for listening to the Phil Switch podcast. Don't forget to check out my other podcast, First and 15th, which I co-host with Kaplowitz Media. If you would like to contact the Phil Switch, you can do that through email at thephilswitch@gmail.com. Again, that's thephilswitch@gmail.com. We wish you all a great week, and we'll talk to you soon here at the Phil Switch.